What's up, beautiful people? Jen here. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Jenna Lee, aka Jen Sparkly, commander of the Sparkle Army. Thank you so much for stopping by my channel and hanging out in my little corner of the internet. I hope you'll stay. Tonight is a big day. If you're a pro wrestling fan, it is Wrestlemania, the granddaddy of them all. The showcase of the immortals. The biggest pay-per-view of the year. Now, this is WrestleMania 34, even though they no longer actually put the numbers in the logo as they used to. So, apparently Vince McMahon thinks it makes people feel old to see the numbers. I don't know. I don't understand it. It is now a show that is nearly 8 hours long, including your pre-show. And so, without further ado, let's get into it. What went down tonight on the biggest stage of them all? In the pre-show, we had the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal with a whole host of guys just crammed in there. Matt Hardy won it, took it all, last eliminating the Lone Wolf Baron Corbin. He was joined by Bray Wyatt, of all people, in the ring. They clapped, they celebrated together, and hinted that perhaps Bray Wyatt's dip into the pond of reinvention, the lake of reinvention, in the final deletion, perhaps Bray Wyatt is now woken. I guess we'll see. Next up, the Cruiserweight Championship. Cedric Alexander against Mustafa Ali for a Cruiserweight champion. The title has been pretty much vacant since Enzo Amore was unceremoniously ousted from the company. I love Enzo. It is what it is. Cedric Alexander won. Yay for him. Great job. The Women's Battle Royal saw some much anticipated showdown between Sasha Banks and Bayley. Bayley eliminating Sasha. However, thinking she'd won, Naomi slipped in as she had not gone over the top rope. She eliminates Bayley last to win. So, yay for Naomi. I can't help but feel like this Battle Royal was just a little tiny bit snake bit, especially considering it started out as the Fabulous Moolah Battle Royal, and they had to change it because fans revolted, as they should have. I hope that this does things for Naomi, because that would be, 2 years in a row that she had a really bomb WrestleMania moment. So here's hoping that the winner of the Women's Battle Royal gets a little better push than the winner of the Andre Battle Royal does, because it does not seem to be a feather in the cap at all. That said, I guess is it just a lost cause to root for Becky Lynch anymore? She's beyond talented. She's gorgeous. She has an extremely charming, unique accent. She's funny. The fans adore her. And yet WWE continues to just treat her like she does not exist. I don't get it. I don't get it. Push Becky Lynch. On the show proper, it starts out with The Miz versus Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor for the Intercontinental title. Great match between three great guys. I was really torn. Part of me wanted to see The Miz lose only because I wanted him to get time away with his newborn baby, Monroe Sky, the It Baby, and see him come back as a full-fledged, cut-in-the-cloth main eventer, because he deserves to be competing on that stage now. He should not come back and be competing for the U.S. or Intercontinental titles. He has had the best run with the Intercontinental title probably in the last 10, 12 years. Easily. Hell, at the Hall of Fame, Jeff Jarrett even called him out and said, thank you for what you've done for the Intercontinental title. What does that tell you? Anyway, after lots of great back and forth, Seth Rollins comes away the victor, making him a Grand Slam champion. Awesome stuff, awesome stuff. Very happy to see Seth Rollins holding a title again. Next up, we have Charlotte versus Asuka, the Queen versus the Empress of Tomorrow. And we have one of the best women's matches I've ever seen until the very end. I called this. I don't like to be the one to say I told you so, but I told you so. As soon as Asuka hit the main roster, I said, wait for it. They're going to build her up and they're going to feed her to Charlotte at Mania. Wait for it. Not only did she lose to Charlotte tonight in a really hokey way, not only is her streak completely broken and invalidated, but they had her grab the mic and say Charlotte was ready for Asuka tonight. I mean, they were a half step away from having her drop to her knees and kiss her ass. I mean, what's the difference in the push Charlotte's getting and the push Roman Reigns is getting? Is there a difference? Don't get me wrong, Charlotte's an athlete. She's great in the ring. But the level at which they are protecting her, the level at which they are just heaping accolades on her, it's ridiculous. I'm sorry. I don't dislike Charlotte, but you'll never convince me that she deserves all of this. Y'all drag Roman Reigns to filth, but cheer for Charlotte when they're getting the exact same treatment. I don't get it. Next up, right after this match, you see the referee run up to Cena, who had been sitting in his seat in the front row. Of course, if that was really Cena's seat, we know Nikki Bella would be there with probably a camera crew making sure everyone who's anyone saw her. So obviously that was staged. But then Cena jumps up and takes off running, hinting that The Undertaker was here. Next up, we have the U.S. title match between Rusev, Bobby Roode, Randy Orton, and Jinder Mahal. The entrances were cool. I'll say this. Bobby Roode is not a bland white meat babyface. Let him be an ass. That's what he's good at. He's good at being a cocky, smarmy heel. It's not working. That's not who he is. And Randy Orton already airs on being Blandy Orton. He's got to have some fire. Because it doesn't feel like I'm watching Randy Orton matches. It feels like he's just being half-assed booked. That's how a lot of this felt. It was just half-assed. So you've got an extremely, extremely over Rusev. So of course you give the U.S. title to Jinder Mahal. Of course that's what you do. And now I guess we get another few months of Jinder Mahal and Randy Orton matches just for a different title. Yay. If this review feels a little anticlimactic, it's because the show was a lot anticlimactic. Next up, we had Ronda Rousey and Kurt Angle versus Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. Let me set my pen down and let me grab my mirror because I'm about to eat some crow. No, I am not a fan of Ronda Rousey. I find her personally to be obnoxious and arrogant and just kind of a pain in the ass. However, tonight in the ring, she proved herself about 1,000 times over. I probably caught myself saying, God, look how fluid she is. Probably 5 or 6 times. She is so quick. She is so fluid that the thing that kept jumping out to me was I can now see the difference in someone who has deep, extensive training in like martial arts than someone who has an extensive training in pro wrestling. She did some little chain wrestling maneuvers, and Stephanie was clearly outclassed, which that's not a knock against Stephanie. She hung like a pro. She's an executive, you know. She's not a trained wrestler, as it were. She looked great for what she was doing, but it was clear that Ronda Rousey was here. I mean, it is what it is. Stephanie would readily admit that she's not on that level, you know. But Ronda at one point actually had Triple H, a 270-pound man, in a fireman's carry, holding him over her shoulders. And it wasn't like a quick thing where she threw him off. No, she stood there for a good 5 or 6 seconds just holding him. That alone is an unbelievable feat of strength. Unbelievable. I mean, she was throwing Stephanie McMahon around like a rag doll. Now, granted, Steph is not a big girl. She's tall, but she's real thin. She's in great shape. But, I mean, she was just throwing Stephanie like it was nothing. So, yeah, I was very impressed by Rousey's ring work. It was obvious that she doesn't know how to run the ropes and stuff like that. That will come. The actual work, her selling was extraordinary. I think I said that 2 or 3 times. God, she's really good at selling. She's good. The only real knock I have is not really a knock against Ronda per se. It's get that girl some proper ring gear. All these other women came out. You know, Charlotte came out in head-to-toe gold. Alexa Bliss had a bedazzled, rhinestoned, and sequined version of her normal ring gear. And I mean, the top Ronda wore was hot. It just was like a cute little crop top that said rowdy. But she just had some little black boy shorts on. And maybe that was her choice. Maybe she felt more comfortable in that. But it seemed like she spent a great significant portion of the match constantly pulling them down and adjusting them. Let's get that girl in some proper gear so that she can focus on being the fucking superstar that she's obviously going to be. Let's make sure she's comfortable, you know? Moving on. For what it's worth, that was the match of the night. Angle and Triple H told a great story. Stephanie and Ronda told a great story. That's what I was saying to my brother. The one thing that Stephanie has as far as in any of these matches is she has her dad's knack of understanding how far to push her villainous ego before she pulls back and gets her comeuppance. Like, she understands how to give the crowd what they want while still getting her point across. They were easily, for me, the match of the night. The 4 best entertainers of the night were absolutely Ronda, Stephanie, Triple H, and Kurt Angle. It's awesome in a way, but in a way it's worrying. Because Stephanie's not a full-timer, and she's never going to be. She's an executive. Triple H is a part-timer, and he's never going to be a full-timer again. Kurt Angle's never going to be a full-timer again. Who's going to step up to be these storytellers? Who's going to step up to fill these voids? Next up, Cena comes out, and then Elias comes out, and he's beating up Elias, and boom, Taker. My first thought was, okay, well, this completely undoes the beautiful exit he made at last year's Mania. Friggin' continuity. How does that work, right? Taker comes out. I will say this. He looked 15 years younger. Was in incredible shape. I think I heard that he had hip replacement surgery. I don't know that that's 100% accurate. But for what it's worth, he looked younger. He moved incredibly well, and he put on a show that he hadn't put on in a few years. It was a quick match. He leveled Cena. He did old school. He did the flying forearm clothesline thing, did the choke slam, the sit-up. He did everything. He did all of the classics, and he put away Cena handily. 1, 2, 3, quick, fast, and in a hurry. Moving on, you have Daniel Bryan and Shane O'Mac versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. The highlight of this match is obviously going to be the return of Daniel Bryan. The first note of his music brings a deafening roar from the crowd because everybody loves Daniel Bryan. The match itself was pretty formulaic, pretty by the numbers. It was good. Everyone worked hard. Everyone looked good. Daniel Bryan gets the win for their team. Good stuff. Next up, you have Nia and Alexa. Now, this match nagged at me because you've got Alexa mocking Nia's weight. But her sidekick in doing so is Mickie James, who is the victim of the Piggy James storyline that was so absolutely repulsive and disgusting all those years ago. Don't be a bully, be a star. Ding. The match was good. Nia beat the crap out of Alexa, and we have a new women's champion. Okay, cool. Next up, oh, I skipped over it, and I'm sorry. It came before Taker Cena. The Bludgeon Brothers, the Usos, and the New Day. New Day came out, and, okay, it looked like this during Asuka's entrance, and it looked like this during the New Day's entrance. The platters of pancakes with the unicorn, is that just computer stuff? Because I don't think the crowd saw that. I think we at home just saw that. Am I crazy? Anyway, it's a good match. Bludgeon Brothers went over and won as we kind of thought they would to end that back and forth with the Usos and the New Day. The Usos and the New Day have been incredible in this run, and I don't see this as a demotion or a step down for them. It's just a chance to elevate another tag team, and they desperately need to elevate another tag team. Anyways, moving back to where we are in the lineup of the car, we had the Bar versus Braun Strowman and Mystery. Braun Strowman comes out and declares that it's going to be someone from the crowd. So he walks out, he looks around, and he picks this kid. You, come with me. What's your name? Nicholas. Nicholas stands outside the ring, gets tagged in, looks terrified, tags back out. Boom. Braun wins the tag titles with Nicholas. So, this kid gets to stand on the apron and carry the tag team titles back to the back as a tag team champion with Braun Strowman. Thought it was a really cool, feel-good moment. I saw people complaining that the Bar was buried. I don't see that at all. I truly think this was just a way to forward march the tag titles to open up more possibilities for Braun and keep the Bar in the picture. It was meant to be a quick kind of come down match after the prior match. It gave this kid this awesome feel good moment, and it got everybody on the card, and it got everybody a WrestleMania payday. It's wins all the way around. I do not think any less of the Bar for that match. I don't feel like they were buried. Everybody got a payday. They didn't have to take a whole bunch of crucial, brutal bumps. Everybody wins. Also, some chick online on Twitter was whining about, I just can't believe they would endanger a child like that. Oh my gosh. And I just responded, sweetie, he was outside on the ring apron. At no point ever was he in danger. What are you on about? And then, of course, she had to say, well, I wrestled for this many years, and if you're going to wrestle, you have to take a blood test, and you have to get a physical. And I'm like, what does that have to do with anything you're saying? You're just trying to get people to notice that you wrestled. You're not making a legitimate point here. So I just ended up blocking her because I felt stupider. Never mind, when I actually looked at her Twitter, the girl does a friggin' Teen Mom podcast. Okay, reality tea sipper. Yeah, real mental heavyweight you are. I feel stupider for having engaged her in a moment of conversation. But as it will be, the internet will find a way to be outraged and offended, even if there's nothing to be outraged and offended by. Like I said to her, okay, well, by your logic, then Sandman's kid was in danger. Dominic, Rey Mysterio's kid, was in danger. By your logic, every single person who is not normally a wrestler is in danger. So Maria Menounos was in danger. Is Kid Rock in danger? You know? Was Snooki in danger? At WrestleMania 11? Was Pamela Anderson and Jenny McCarthy, were they in danger? Like, the logic is not there. Stick to Teen Mom. That's probably more your style, reality tea sipper or whatever your damn name is. We have AJ and Nakamura. Now, I was excited to see AJ on the grandest stage of them all. Everyone hyped this match up. It was not possible for two men to live up to the hype that these people put on it, but it was a hard-hitting, good match. AJ came out the victor. Nice little twist at the end with Nakamura shaking his hand, presenting him the belt, and giving him the low blow. There's more to come there, and I look forward to see where this leads at Backlash. Finally, we have Roman and Brock. Literally, my notes say, snooze fest, yawn, because that's exactly how I felt. I did not expect big things. We did not get big things. Brock won. Lottie friggin' die. How did y'all feel about WrestleMania? Let me know in the comments below. The match of the night was far and away Angle, Rousey, Trips, and Steph. Asuka and Charlotte had a good match. The finish sucked, but it was a good match. The Intercontinental match was good. Both tag team matches were good. They were entertaining. But overall, the only match that truly felt like a WrestleMania match was the Rousey Angle match. Otherwise, it was just, this is what happens when you oversaturate. There's too much programming. There's too much Raw, SmackDown, monthly pay-per-views, this, that, and the other. It's too much. There's too many pay-per-views, and even when you dress it up and add all the pizzazz and access in the Hall of Fame, it's overkill. It's too much. It's hard to make WrestleMania feel special when on the WrestleMania telecast you're already promoting Backlash. That's just my 2 cents. Overall, I give the show a C. I'm glad I saw it. As someone who lives 2.5 hours away from New Orleans, who almost went, I'm glad I didn't, because I would have been pissed if I'd have spent what it would have cost to travel, to get the hotel room, to buy the tickets, to tolerate the people I would have had to go with. I'm glad I sat and watched it in my living room, in my jams. What did you think? What was your favorite match? How do you feel about Rousey's debut? What do you think about Brock Lesnar's prospects moving forward? How do you feel about Nicholas Mania? Tell me everything you think in the comments below. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I love you guys very, very much. As always, my social media links are in the description box, as are my coupon codes. Hang out with me on Snapchat. I promise I'm a barrel of monkeys. I love y'all. Stay beautiful.